Well, if there's one guy sleeping over there and we've been able to sneak around him just fine by ourselves, can we go take a look at what's in the bigger tent?
I nod. I'm also going to move ahead of you. We're kind of like borderline edge of forest where we are.
Okay.
And I move in to the big tent.
I still have an arrow drawn.
So have you readied an action to attack basically, or?
Basically, just in case.
Okay. Are you going to move into the tent with me or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just move a little slower than you.
No worries.
I'm actually sitting right at the front.
I reach out, touch your shoulder, and kind of gently tug you in. Get out of sight.
Okay.
I whisper very hoarsely into your ear. Basically, I put my lips right up against your ear and whisper in a breath. Inside this larger tent, there are a few crudely constructed chairs, a table with various papers, some quill pens, some odd-looking tools. The papers are mostly held down with weights. Moving to the table, I look over some of them, and then you see me kind of frown a little bit in kind of this low-level confusion.
What's up?
I think I recognize some of these letters.
Letters or words?
I bite my lip. We'll go with letters. I might be able to construct words. I start looking over some of the papers. Think about it for a moment. Carefully take one of the blank sheets of parchment, look at one, and I start scribbling down, almost like I'm trying to copy or translate what's written on the other page. And I assume you're like looking over my shoulder.
Looking out the entrance and also taking a look at what else is in the room
Okay.
or tent.
There is an odd contraption that draws your attention. It is a. It's hard to describe. Let me see if I can find a picture of it actually.
Hmm.
I know I have one. Maybe.
It better look a little bit like a trebuchet or something.
It is not a trebuchet.
Because that's what was first going in my head.
It is long and round, almost like a tube. That sounds so healthy.
Yep. Stupid bear.
I thought there was a picture in here. I guess not. Bummer. At one end is larger than the other. Both ends are capped with a hard, transparent material. And as you examine it, you find that it actually kind of, like if you grab the opposing ends, you can actually expand it so it becomes a longer tube, and then you can press it back together and it becomes a shorter tube.
Well, that's interesting.
Then you hear me mutter. You hear me kind of low muttering to myself. You can cast Whisper to remind me to be quiet, or just listen.
I'm listening. What's up?
You hear me mutter. You kind of gather that I'm reading what I think is the interpretation of the message. We await news of your return to the days. The land should be rich for our arrival. Greet the home you found in peace. Wait for newly strengthened bridges?
I whisper, are they waiting for some sort of a king or a deity?
You can give an intelligence check if you want.
On normal, or do I have it on disadvantage?
Normal.
Okay. 14.
You can guess that I might actually know a version of the language, and I probably misinterpreted.
Seemed a lot of it was quite clear.
And with that intelligence check, you can look at what I've translated and, excuse me, kind of essentially help me figure out what it actually says, if that makes sense.
The land would be rich, should be rich, could be rich.
I assume we're working together at this point, so...
The land could be rich for our rival.
Did it pop up on your screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So working together, it takes us some time, but we were able to put together the following. Dark Eye Hedonor, we await your report. Reinforcements should arrive in a few days. Make regular preparations for their arrival and report on the land's resources. When you have enough forces, conquer the discovered outpost. In the meantime, secure the bridge until our engineers can return and better establish it. Exalted Jathan.
Well, I think that's pretty cut and clear.
I look up at you, like you take one look at my eyes, and I kind of look a little cross-eyed. It's clear that these kind of mental gymnastics are a little unaccustomed for me. And I'm just like, what is clear about this?
We're gonna have an invasion.
That part I understand all too well. I gulp. What do we do?
So, we're pretty close to the guy that's sleeping. Do you think we should capture him, take him back to camp, and interrogate him? Or should we continue to look around to see who else is here?
Moving around imposes a greater risk with the wolves, and I point at the tent door, whatever those things are.
And which ones were those things?
The really big wolf-like but not wolf creatures.
Ah. I just call them dire wolves because they're pretty darn big.
They are pretty big. We could interrogate them. If we take one back, we may draw more attention from all of these. I shrug. Or there's the simpler approach.
We take them down to the bridge, go across the bridge, then destroy the bridge, and then interrogate them there.
I blink at you. Obviously that thought hadn't even crossed my mind.
Oh.
No, I was thinking we kill them.
That is more simpler than what I was thinking.
If they're planning on invading and conquering our home, does it really matter gathering intelligence from them?
I think the only kind of intelligence that we've gathered is there is a great warlord. They are preparing for an invasion, and they're also going to be bringing a very big army with them.
And if we let them live, they might... We don't know if they've reported our exact location. All we know at the moment is that they know that our home is nearby.
I would probably say...
Go Go ahead.
I would probably say it's safe to say that we could burn this little campsite to the ground. But, okay, so the parchment papers that you found, among them, did you find anything that looked like it was small enough to fit on a crow or a raven?
I do a quick search. There's a leather thong that, well, there's several leather. Blah. There are several leather thongs that could be used for securing a message to something as thin as a crow's leg, but there's no small scroll.
Okay.
Well, I take that back. There is one scroll, and since I've worked through one message, I'm able to piece together a very brief kind of outpost found, basically.
So they have found our outpost, they brought it back to this campsite. But we don't know if they've sent a message out anywhere else, do we?
Well, I'll pull out the message that we already read again. Oop, what happened here? There we go.
We wait at your report. Reinforcements should arrive in a few days. Make regular preparations for their arrival on the land's resources. When you have enough forces, discover the outpost. In the meantime, secure the bridge until our engineers can return and better establish it.
Remember as well that as soon as those two others saw us, they immediately went on the attack.
Right.
And we killed one, and your great-great-grandfather killed the other. It's quite possible that they don't know the exact location of our home, but these two might also be scouts, like the two we already killed.
Right.
So if they're left alive, or taken back to our home, and they manage to escape, they'll know our exact location.
Do we have more of an advantage to kill them now while they're asleep? Or will that wake them up and cause us to have a brawl?
Depends on how we go about killing them, I suppose. What's your call? I'll follow your lead, Adran.
I say we burn this campsite to the ground and destroy the bridge.
So do you want to start by setting everything on fire, or do you want to deal with the sleeping person first?
Let's deal with the sleeping guy first.
Okay.
That way we'll have less people on our tails. And
in that case, if we're going to move out of the tent, give me a stealth check.
Stealth check.
Uh-oh.
7.
So I slip out quietly.
No.
And you are distracted with your new toy. I assume that you're taking that little tubular thing with you out of the tent.
Hey, it's tubular.
Gotta, right? And you kind of knock it against the tent pole.
Oof.
And you immediately hear stirring from the animals. As well as me basically freezing in place. So at this point, let's see. So I'm gonna have you basically, let's see here. Something is going to actively search for you. You can give me another stealth check.
Come on, baby, roll me a good one.
Oh dear.
15.
Yeah, I got a natural 20.
Yeah.
And you hear one of the wolves, and then the other wolves start barking, snarling, and yanking at their leads. Alright, so how much time do we have left? It is currently 10:30.
Yeah.
Do you want to continue right now, just for a little bit, or do you want to put a pause here and come back next week?
Let's continue just a little bit.
Okay, so what we're going to do now, we are going to roll for initiative.
All right. What did I roll?
You rolled the 5 again.
5. What the heck is wrong with me?
It happens. No, believe me, it happens. I've had some really horrible initiative rolls before.
How come your roll is still going on? Is it because of all the characters involved?
Uh-huh.
Oh, gosh. Oh, great.
I did warn you that I was making these combats deadly, difficult, etc.
Deadly, difficult, etc.
Okay, so... sorting. Okay, so I'm up first. The wolves are... all 4 of them are tied to the tree, so they can't really go anywhere.
Okay.
Everything else is currently surprised. Okay?
Okay.
So realizing that we are essentially busted, I'm going to quick step into the tent here. Let me see here real quick.
Okay.
Can you see my arrow? You can see another tent over there.
Okay.
There may or may not be someone inside sleeping. Alright, so spotting the sleeping creature inside this tent. It's not your turn yet.
Oh, it's not?
Nope.
Oh. I still haven't even gotten my token thing up yet.
Your token thing? Oh, are you not on the initiative order?
Character token? Say what?
What are you talking about? You did roll initiative
Oh,
right this time.
No, I am actually there. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Okay, I did it.
So, okay, so I'm going to pull out my sling, and I'm going to, so they're prone, so I'm going to basically lunge down at them. I'm going to run this as a grapple check, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so rephrase that. No, would this be a grapple? Because I'm not making an attack roll. Yes, this would be a grapple. Need this character sheet. So this character is surprised, but still gets to make an ability check, I guess. Alright, so basically I'm going to make... let's call it an athletics check with advantage, because they're surprised and prone. Oh gosh, that's horrible. Let's see. Yeah, I missed. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Drat. Okay.
So basically what happens is you throw your sling over, he grabs it, and then tummy tucks you in and throws you
No,
forward.
he doesn't get to do all that. He basically just sees me coming and twists his head aside, and I missed where I was going to grapple. Bummer. Alright. That was gonna be so fancy, too. Alright, so the wolves are tied. They don't get to do anything. Those guys are surprised. Surprised.
Oh,
Adrian,
gosh, there's that many of them?
Yeah, it is your turn, Adrian.
Jeez. Oh. What am I in range of?
With your longbow, no, you can't really get line of sight on any of the wolves from where you are currently. You could take a shot at whoever's in the tent, but it'll be a it'll be a disadvantage because they're prone. You could take a shot at these creatures over here, but they'll have cover because of the rocks.
Yeah. So could I move and then shoot?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna move about here.
Okay.
And let's see. I need to, because I'm like right next to the edge of my screen, so I can't really see what's going on. I'm just going to shoot the tent straight ahead because I know the wolves are already chained to the tree. The other guys, I still can't get through to them. There's cover, so that would be my disadvantage. The only thing that's out in the open is the tent. So I'm thinking I should go hit that tent.
Go for it.
All right.
You're making a shot with disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
Yes.
Here we go. Disadvantage. Longbow show.
And remember to mark your arrow gone. Oh, nat 1. Yeah, that misses.
Aww.
You can action surge if you want and get an extra attack out.
No, I kind of want to save that.
Fair
for
enough.
A little later.
Alright, wolf is barking. Alright, it's my turn again.
Probably should have taken out one of the wolves.
What do I want to do? Okay, he's prone. I am going to risk it. I'm going to do it again. He is prone. Come on. 16. Ah, I got him. He's grappled.
Nice.
So, I missed with the first one. He sees me coming. But now I have my sling wrapped around his throat. And I start pulling for all I'm worth. So give me 1 second.
Hope the pounds of rations also help.
All right. Okay. Da-da-da-da-da. Alright, so the wolves are still pinned, but these big creatures down here, this one rises to its feet. Wait, why is it? Oh, right. So it spends half its movement just standing up. And as it approaches you, it looks at you and it snarls, "Fresh meat."
Oh, God, it talks?
It talks. Alrighty then.
Oh, I know exactly what you are now. You're a Balverine.
Alright, so grapple check to break free or make an attack. Yeah, he's gonna make an attack.
Oh, great.
Pulls out longsword and goes to attack me. Oh, with disadvantage because prone. Right. Alright, so that turns a 21 into an 11, which misses. Whoo! That misses. That could have hurt. Okay, that was fun.
So I thought it was my move because one of the dire wolves came up to me, or the Balverine.
It is not your turn yet. This one's going to stand up, 25 feet.
Oh, crap.
Yeah. 25 feet. Oops. There we go. All right, now it's your turn.
Okay.
What do you want to do?
Am I back to a normal or a disadvantage?
You're back to normal. Oh, well, it depends. What do you want to attack?
I want to attack the one that's right in front of me.
This guy?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you're back to normal.
Okay. And here we go. Where are you? Longbow. I'm going to use another arrow. Longbow.
Oh, you crit? Tell me you crit. You crit! Nice. 12
Whoa.
damage. Oh, that shot staggered him. Like he comes to a full stop just because of the force of the arrow slamming to his very you notice blood matted fur.
Oof.
Would you like to move?
Well, yes, I would like to move back this way.
Quickly.
And as I shoot the arrow, I basically say, dodge this.
You have 5 more feet of movement.
5 more feet of movement.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking advantage of that.
Yeah, probably a good idea. All right. The next guy's turn. Stands up. Comes out and is just kind of like, what's going on? What's happening? He is going to use his action to dash and mount the big creature you just shot. The wolves are continuing to howl and growl and raise a ruckus. You don't know exactly where I am, but I'm still in the tent, and I'm just gonna keep on holding this guy down with my sling wrapped around his throat. All right, so the wolves are howling and barking. Yeah. So because he mounted, yeah, this huge creature is no longer acting on its own initiative.
Yeah.
Because he's being controlled as a mount. So I gotta ignore that. All right. So here's where I need to look at this. Suffocation rules. When a creature runs out of breath or is choking, it can survive for a number of rounds equal to its Constitution modifier. At the start of its next turn, it drops to 0 hit points and is dying. Okay, so this guy drops to 0 hit points and is dying.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with that. Unsurprisingly.
He might, but
I don't mind. So he is now prone, unconscious, and dying. However, these big nasty creatures are now up, and this one's gonna dash. Become, let's see,
ready to make some mincemeat out of
5,
me.
10, 15, 20, 5, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. Hang on. Ignore all that. I gotta zoom out.
Okay.
Okay, so
Oh, they're Wagbire wolves. I just realized what they were.
there we go. He went around everything in order to get to you.
I wish I had some Rustabon rabbits.
Wait, what is that a reference to?
What?
What is that a reference to?
The Hobbit.
Oh gosh, the movie, right.
These are Rustabon rabbits.
Hello.
I'd like to see them try.
I remember now.
Those are Vagmon wolves. They will hunt you down. These are Rustabun rabbits. I'd like to see them try.
And this one actually managed to get up close enough to you and with enough movement. Wait, no, it didn't. I forgot. It had to dash.
Had to dash.
All right. So yeah, now it's your turn.
If there was a cat around here, it obviously caught my tongue.
You're just kind of like looking at all these huge, menacing canine creatures surrounding you.
Hey guys, glad you can join the party. Try the veal. It's better than meat, really.
Oh my gosh, do you like throw meat at them from your supplies?
Could I? To distract them?
You can try it.
But then there's like 3 of them. I'd almost like to rather throw meat and shoot an arrow. Or I wish we could get as clever as this. Here, I'll just tie a piece of meat. Guys, here, wave it in front of them, go, whoo, hey, look at this, and then shoot it.
You could
like, take some of them away.
You could also try and lead them towards the traps in the area.
Isn't that kind of
risky?
Risky, but then also too, isn't that also qualify as my action?
To disengage, it will take your action.
Okay.
What do you want to do? And yeah, you can absolutely try and distract them with meat, I guess. You never know.
Well, let's see. Actually, yeah, I do want to kind of distract them. Give a chance to distract and then also kind of get out there a little bit.
Alright, so you're going to throw down some meat. Give me... What would this count as? Give me an animal handling check with advantage.
Advantage, animal handling.
Okay, so 1 is not convinced by your paltry offering of meat.
Here, get it.
Other
Come
2.
Come on. Here. No.
Is not impressed. And nope. They are all looking at you and they're just kind of like, why would we want stale meat when fresh meat is before us?
Oh, so you're not in the mood for some of this.
I will still allow you to have an action. I'll count that as an interaction.
Okay, an interaction. Let's see. You know what?
Stevie, do you want this one?
Oh gosh. I'm just gonna use a longbow action on the middle one.
All right, so he's within 5 feet, so you're attacking with disadvantage.
All right.
Go for it.
Disadvantage. -1 arrow and shoot.
Can it land? Can it land?
17, 8.
It can indeed land.
8. Ooh, nice.
And whack! Right in his chest. Point blank range. Here's an odd idea. You still have movement. You could try and mount one. Like you saw the guy over here do.
Really?
I mean, you can always try.
Would I mount the one that I just shot, or mount the one that's
Probably not the one that you just shot.
Okay.
And bear in mind that these are not exactly friendly creatures toward you. Oh wait, let me actually check on that in that case. Mounting. Huh. Technically speaking, a mount doesn't have to be willing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, yeah, you could mount it.
I would like to mount the one right next to him.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have to be willing. There's nothing specifically about that I can see. Mounts? I'm just double checking again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really see anything that says that they have to be willing. I mean, it's obviously not going to be easy to control it.
Nope. But
or stay on it.
At least have one less creature attacking me.
Potentially. All right, so yeah, you shoot one, and I'm gonna grab your character for a second. Grab the fur of the other and throw yourself onto its back. So that happened.
That just happened.
Alrighty then.
Ooh, this is getting interesting.
Right? Hello.
Oh God.
So he comes, okay, and he gets advantage. Yep, he gets advantage.
Huh.
I get a 23 to hit you.
23.
And you take 5 bludgeoning damage.
Ouch. What a joust.
And then he swings again. I get 23 to hit you, and you take 4 bludgeoning damage. Wham! Wham! What do you think you're doing?
So that's what, 9 again, or
that's 9 damage
taken
total.
Away from my 22?
Yes. I'm gonna zoom in
All
here.
Alright, so that would be 13, I'm guessing?
5 and 4 is 9. So 22 minus 9.
13.
There you go. Ouch. That looked like it hurt.
It did.
I'm gonna leave this guy prone and unconscious and dying. I'm gonna step out, take a look at what's happening. I'm going to bonus action cast Hunter's Mark on the guy that just slapped your face with his mace.
Got it.
And I'm gonna take a shot at him. So hang on a second. There we go. Yeah, 23 is gonna hit him.
Nice.
And Hunter's Mark.
But where?
Right in the, let's call it the left chest. So he's gonna take 11 points of damage. What? Oh, hang on. There we go. And I need to mark an arrow gone. Wait, I already marked an arrow gone. Alright, so it's 5, 15, so I have to move 20 feet. And I'm gonna move 20, 25, 30, 35. And you just hear me yell at you, I'd get out of there if I were you! Alright, I need to mark this guy as marked, and myself as concentrating. Alright, the wolf is still tied, barking up a storm. This fellow is still controlled. Alright, so he needs to make a death saving throw. Whatever that is, -1. So 16, that is 1 success. Alright. The other creatures. He's gonna, it's 20, that's 15. 20. There we go. Yep, he's coming at you to attack. Oh, jeez. I get 22, and you take 10 piercing damage.
Ouch. That
And-
brings me down to 3.
And I need a strength saving throw from you.
All right. Strength saving?
Yes. Yes.
Where do I go for strength saving?
So top left.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, there you go.
I see it now.
Oh,
And
yeah, go ahead.
I make sure I'm at a normal setting or a disadvantage setting.
Normal.
Okay. Go for strength save.
Oh yeah, you are
20.
not knocked prone. So you do take the 10 piercing damage, but you are not torn off the mount that you are sitting astride.
So that takes me down to 3.
Correct.
Then.
Ooh boy. Alright, now for the one that you are riding, he's basically going to try and knock you off of himself. Okay?
Yeah.
So, so he's basically going to try and twist about. So it's going to be dexterity. And you can choose if you want to do a strength, or sorry, an athletics, or an acrobatics check to try and stay on his back.
Let's see. Acrobatics, you said?
Athletics or acrobatics.
Let's try acrobatics.
Okay.
23.
Which definitely beats his 3. You remain astride him. Well done.
Awesome.
Roll me a d3. Or sorry, not a d3, a d6.
D6.
On an odd, the other warg is the other creature is going to go after. Okay, nope, that's an even. All right, so he's coming after you instead of the meat on the ground.
Great.
But I only get a 7 to hit, which misses you. Your armor class is 14. Hey, look, it's now your turn. Might I recommend bonus action second wind?
Yes, second wind.
So if you recall looking at your character sheet, underneath all of your different attacks, you can just click on the formula, the 1d10 plus 2.
1d10 plus 2. Clicking. Did it not go?
I didn't see it. Oh, you're clicking on the box. So uncheck the box. There you go. And if you could look over to where the
1d10 actually got highlighted.
Yes.
So here we go.
There you go. So how many hit points do you heal yourself? 4. So you're now at 7 hit points.
Oh goody.
Now, so once you've adjusted your hit points, you can give me an athletics check or an animal handling check. I will allow either one to try and control the mount that the creature that you're riding.
Let's go athletics check.
So basically, you're grabbing his fur and you're yanking him. If that makes sense.
18.
All right, and he's going to try and resist you. Oh, I got a nat 1. Yeah, you control him. So,
alright.
You can now force him to take the disengage action and carry you away from the fight, and then you can still use your action to shoot.
Yeah. So let's...
He has a movement speed of 50 feet, so where would you like to go?
Closer to you, actually.
Okay, I'll move you both for the moment.
Okay.
Because you're badly hurt. How about that?
Can barely see myself. There we go.
And now you can take a shot. And you have effective range on all of them. So choose your target.
Let's see.
This is the wounded one. And
wounded one.
this is a wounded one. and the rider is a wounded one. So take your pick.
Oh gosh. Honestly, I would really like to go with either wounded, but I think I want to go wounded with the rider.
You want to target the rider?
Well, that's the hard part too, because I don't want to deal with the rider. I'd rather deal with the creatures. Yeah, let's go for the rider.
All right, target the rider. Take the shot.
All right, here we go.
Which, yeah, okay, go ahead.
Longbow?
Yes. And don't forget to mark the arrow gun.
I have 15 left in my quiver. I think I'm looking at an 18, or no?
That's a 9. What do you mean 18?
Wow, that's weird.
Oh, you're looking at the athletics check.
Am I?
I think so. Because your shot is a 9 with a 4 piercing.
Oh. 4 piercing.
There's a whoosh of air as your arrow zips over his head.
That sucks.
You can use your action surge now to take another shot, if you want.
I am going to.
Fair enough. So you're burning action surge.
Okay.
That was really chancy there.
What?
Oh, it's just how close you came to being torn apart. I was legit worried.
Oh, well, I got a little lucky there.
Right?
Alright, so I'm going to take another shot and see if I can get him.
Go for it.
What did I do now? I did
15. That hits.
15. Sure hope that took off an ear or pierced his cheek or something.
Let me zoom in here because I can't see. Oh, that didn't work. Oh, it did work. Okay. Yeah. He screams into the night as your arrow rips his ear off. Nice shot. Ouch.
That sounded like it hurt.
Oh gosh, what's going on here? Alright, here we go. He's going to give chase, and he is so legitimately angry that he's actually going to go right here. Yeah, he's gonna attack. 1 for you, 1 for me.
Nope. Okay.
So your armor class is a 14. The first attack misses you. And then he misses me. Oh my goodness.
Oh wow.
I legit thought he was gonna hit me. Alright, so now it's my turn. He's very close to me. I don't like this. But I can't really take the chance to disengage. I'm going to disadvantage, take a shot at him.
Okay.
Come on, lucky dice. 10 is a miss. Some hair goes flying as my arrow shaves. Gives him a nice little shave.
You know, if we shave the other side of it, it'll look like a nice mohawk.
Drat. I'm going to move here, trying to get where the other creatures can't get to me. Alright, so he's being controlled, he doesn't get actions. He gets to make a death saving throw. That is also that is 2 successes. Alright, so this fellow down here.
Oh boy.
He does not have room to get. Oh goodness, that was scary. He actually does not have room to get at me.
but he's getting close.
Oh yeah. Okay, so now the one that you're riding, he's going to try and throw you off again. So I need an acrobatics or athletics check.
Here we go.
Oh, he got a nat 1.
Really?
Yeah.
The dexterity too?
Yeah, he got a nat 1. Yeah.
I got a 21.
Easy. You've still effectively got control of him.
You're mine, beast.
Oh jeez. You dare.
Yes, I do dare.
Alrighty. So now he's right there. Alright. So, it is once again your turn. You can try and assert control over this beast.
And it was athletics or animal handling, you said?
Athletics or animal handling, yes. Because you are essentially wrestling this monster into submission.
Athletics, give me a good one. A 20!
Oh, dirty 20.
Yes.
Can he beat that with his strength against your strength? Nope.
I think not.
Nope. He is still under your control. Alright, so you can have him disengage.
Let's dance, boy.
You can have him disengage, dodge, dash, etc., and then you can still attack. Oof, excuse me.
Golly. Well, let's see. There's still the fighter on that warg.
He is, so at this point, because of how close everything is, all ranged attacks are going to have disadvantage.
Well, what if I use my short
If
sword?
you use your short sword, its attack is normal.
Alright, I'm gonna go short sword.
Bring it. I need to check something. Yeah, okay. Oh, a nat 1. That is a miss.
No.
Now you
Not good.
you can still have your ride, take the disengage action, and move. As a
disengage.
Yeah, basically.
And move?
Yeah, so basically, it won't provoke any attack of opportunity.
Yeah, why don't I move to the front of the other two wolves, so basically kind of surrounding them a little bit.
You want to come over here?
Yeah.
So there's some rocks in the way. That's going to be a very tight squeeze for your size, for the creature you're riding.
Oh, you know what? How close am I to the pit?
Well, there's a pit right there that you can see.
Okay. Is there any way I can get on the other side of that pit?
You could, since you've forced control of your mount, you can force him to go that way.
Okay.
And effectively jump it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. With disengage, you could force him to go that far, as far as
Great.
my arrow.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, let's do that.
So yeah, he let's see here. He lands right next to the pit, which means I'm now all alone. Ow. All right, so this guy is going to attack me once with a 12. Whew, that misses.
Oh, good.
Goodness, that was scary. He's gonna force his mount to he's gonna have his mount disengage. Okay, this is gonna be interesting. You know what? It's worth it. He rides right into the pit.
Yes!
The creature that he's riding tumbles down 10 feet and takes 1 point of bludgeoning damage.
So he falls down and chips a nail.
Yeah, basically. And then the big bad guy is going to he's going to try and jump. So he goes to jump at you and slams chest first into the edge of the pit and tumbles down into the pit with his mount. Taking 1d6 bludgeoning damage for falling 10 feet. Ow. So he takes 3.
Watch out for that first step. It's a doozy.
Oh boy. Did that? Okay. Not sure what happened there. And then 3 here. There we go. Alrighty then. So that happened. So he's basically now 10 feet below you. I'm counting my lucky stars. Like, oh, that mace came really close.
Oh gosh. Yeah, it did.
I'm going to move here. And I'm going to shoot straight down at his face.
Okay.
And no longer with disadvantage.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, about 10 feet.
26 to hit.
Oh gosh.
And yeah, Hunter's Mark is still running. So he takes 10 piercing damage.
Oh gosh.
Oh man, he is so close to dying. So that was 30 feet, and then I'm going to just step another 5 feet this way. Where hopefully I have cover. Because yikes, those things are big. Alright, so
Orgs.
furious with the treatment.
Oof. 16.
And 11 damage.
11
you
damage.
hear ripping and snapping of flesh.
Oh.
Yeah, he just ripped this his former rider apart.
Well, that's what he gets for falling down a hole, I guess.
This guy gets a Constitution saving throw.
Jeez.
-1. 9. That is 1 fail. So basically, the guy I strangled, he is at 2 successes, 1 failure for death saves.
Oh.
All right. Wait, what just happened? Oh, okay. So he's going to come here, and he's going to attack me, but I have half cover. So that's basically a +2 to my armor class.
Okay.
Which my armor class is now an 18, so yeah, that bite misses. Yoips. Because that 13 would have hurt. Alright, the creature...
Almost took a bite out of you.
Know, right? Alright, I need another athletics or acrobatics check from you to see if you can stay mounted on your ride.
Well, let's go acrobatics. That seems to be doing real well for me.
I get a... Why? Oh my gosh!
16?
Yeah, I got a 4. So you're made to stride your captured ride. And you just hear me from the other side of like the pit just going, what? He does not like you riding him.
But he can't get rid of me that easy.
20, 25, 25, that's 5, so that becomes 30. Wait, 5, 35, sorry, 30. Okay, no, he can't get in and attack me. Woo! I like cover, I like cover. Alright, it is now your turn again.
Okay.
So I need an animal handling or athletics check from you to try and force this creature to do what you want. And I think this is the 3rd one. If you manage this, you have completely subdued this creature to your will.
Okay.
So, animal handling
athletics,
or athletics.
Here we go. 11.
Versus...
that's not good.
20.
Oh.
So you won't be able to control him. You can't make him move anywhere. But you are still astride him.
Okay.
And he's not subdued. But you still have your action, you can make an attack.
Excuse me.
I pointed at the creature next to me. Shoot it! Shoot it!
Yeah, I think I will go for that creature next to me. Or next to you.
This one?
Yeah.
Take the shot.
Is... Let's see. Is that one of the ones that I injured earlier?
It is not an injured one, no.
Oh,
You can
so the
shoot.
injured one is behind
Yeah,
him.
you can shoot for the injured one behind, but he will have cover.
I'm going for the one in front of the injured
Okay.
one.
So as a reminder, this guy is 10 feet down in a pit. I'll just use the blue marker to indicate he's 10 feet down. So he's not in your way.
He's not in my
Correct.
way. Okay.
Boy, the stealth part of this run really well.
Back up here. Yeah.
Up until we left the tent.
Yeah. Whoops. Sorry, but at least I'm making up for it.
Right? That was really close for you there.
Alright, shooting my longbow. Let's see what I get.
A 9?
Gosh.
It ricochets off the rock next to him, having passed right in front of my nose, and skims over the creature's back, clipping some fur before it buries itself in the grass.
Sorry.
Watch it! Shoot it, not me! Alright, I'm going to...
This guy over here is kind of hard to control.
I'm going to bonus action mark this guy right in front of me. I'm going to pull out my sword. That's not my character sheet. That's my character sheet. And I'm going to stab at him. Because I do not like him being that close.
No.
I got a 12 to hit, which does not hit. Deflect off the stone.
Or how about this? He swatted at me.
Yeah, he swatted at me. Oh, you know what? He swatted at me, and knocked my sword out of my hand.
Oh, God.
I'm going to step back, triggering an attack of opportunity. Ow. Yeah, that hurt.
Oof.
Even with cover, that hurt, and I need to make a Constitution saving throw to maintain concentration on Hunter's Mark. Nope. Hunter's Mark goes away.
Nope.
So I am no longer concentrating on that. Ow, 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 ow.
You okay?
You see blood just running down me. This guy is 10 feet down. Nah, he can't climb out. He's just down there ripping into the body of his former rider. And having a good feast.
Just so long as he's distracted, that's fine by me.
You hear me just leaning against the rock next to you, just like, ow, ow, ow. Con plus and minus 1. Okay, that is 3 successes. He is no longer dying, but he is unconscious.
Yeah.
All right. So he can't really get at me. So he's going to getting through there. That's going to be difficult terrain. So another that becomes 30, 40. Hello.
Of course.
And what's your armor class?
14.
He just misses ripping your leg off.
Yikes. Too close for
Alright, another acrobatics or athletics check from you to see if you stay on this guy. I got a 17 versus your... Uh-oh.
Oh.
Alright,
No.
I need...
My luck has run out.
Yep. I need, let's see, what do I need from you? I need a dexterity saving throw to see if you land prone or not.
Dexterity. Come on, come on. 22.
Oh my goodness, I will allow you to land within 5 feet of your former mount. Wherever you want to land. Like, you can even land on these rocks if you want.
Yeah, let's land on the
All right,
rocks.
go ahead and move your character token over.
Oop, wrong cursor. There we go. Well, it was fun while it lasted.
It is now your turn. You could try mounting it again. Think of it this way: you're basically level with it, with its back. So like it tried to throw you off, and you basically just stepped off of its back onto the rocks.
Yeah. What would I have to do on that one again?
Just mount it.
Put like
it's just movement.
All right. So I'll just move on.
Go ahead. You're like, you threw me off, and now I'm getting it back on your back.
No, to the back.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Here, you move me.
No worries. There you go. And you still have your
Thank you.
action to attack with. Bear in mind, you do have this guy right next to you. So basically, if you want to attack something first, I'll allow you to do that. Oh, wait,
yes, I would.
No matter what you do, you're going to be at disadvantage. If you attack from here or from here, you're going to be at disadvantage.
I'll still attack him.
Which one?
The one that's like right around the tree.
This guy? Alright,
Yeah.
give me a shot with disadvantage.
Alright, disadvantage. And using another one of my arrows. Longbow.
Come on. Oh, you can actually see a puff of fur rising from the creature's back as the arrow skims along its mane and spine.
Dang it.
I'm wincing in pain, trying to hold my wound shut. And I am going to, once again, cast Hunter's Mark. That is my last spell slot. And then I'm going to take a shot. You know what? I'm going to move over first. With you controlling your mount, you can't really take actions against me. So I'm going to move over here. No, actually, you know what? I'm going to move up onto the rocks. Yeah.
Good idea.
Alright, now I'm going to take a shot. No disadvantage. I was hoping for a crit, but I'll take an 18. Yeah, I'll take an 18. I forgot to mark him. So he's going to take 9 damage from that. Oh, ow, he is bloodied. That hurt him. Ow, we need to finish this. The wolves are continuing raising their din. That guy's still eating. That guy's unconscious. Alright, this guy's going to attack. You know what? He's not going to attack you.
What? Why not?
He attacks your mount.
Oh, crap.
Ripping a good chunk of flesh out of it. Alright. Now the mount you're on is gonna try and throw you off. Acrobatics or athletics?
Here goes nothing.
I got a 15. What you got? Oh
Dang
dear.
it.
Okay, dexterity saving throw. To see if you
Come
can prone or
on,
not.
land safely, land safely.
Oh my gosh.
21.
Yeah, you basically just like step right off onto the rocks again. Or wherever you want to end up.
Oh, gosh. I kind of want to get thrown over by the other side of the tree right here.
Okay, yep, I will.
Is that
yeah,
okay?
I will allow that.
Just as long as I can have something in between me and the other warg, I'm fine.
Hello.
Yeah, you're the wounded one.
I get 21 to hit you, and you take 5 piercing damage.
Oh, gosh.
And I need a strength saving throw from you.
Strength save, strength save, strength save. Come on, help me, help me, help me.
You
12.
are now prone.
Oof.
He bears you
So
to
I'm
the
on the
ground.
ground.
There it is. All right. It is now your turn. What do you want to do?
I really want to pull out my short sword and stab him through the chest.
You can do that, but you will be attacking at disadvantage since you're prone. So you can stand up using half of your movement, then make the attack as normal.
I will do that. Stand up and then make the attack as normal.
All right, go for it.
Short sword. Here goes nothing. Come on.
That. Wait, hang on. What? Okay, that is not enough to hit. Or I will allow it to hit, but something bad's gonna happen.
Make me miss.
Alright, so you miss. Alright, you can move if you want, but you'll trigger an attack of opportunity from one of these creatures.
Yeah, no, I think I'd just stay there.
Okay, my turn again. Take the shot.
I am so...
And I got 25 to hit.
Oh, yes.
It takes 7 damage. And dies.
Kind of wish we had... Oh, which one?
That one.
Oh, yes.
So you go to stab him,
Oh.
and all of a sudden he just falls over dead, and you just kind of like assume that you're the one who killed him.
Oh, yay.
And then I use my bonus action to move Hunter's Mark over here. And considering positioning, I'm going to hop down and then hop up. Are you alright, Adran?
Ow.
That guy's still eating. That guy's still...
I kind of wish the girls were here. I mean, come on. One of them is probably already done with their freaking tree
Yeah, but
curse.
they didn't know where we went. Well, actually, no, they would have known where we went. I forgot about that. Alright, so this guy's turn. What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do?
Bad boys, bad boys.
What you gonna do?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's going towards you,
Yep.
or just... Oh, gosh.
But he had to dash to get there. And then your buddy.
Yeah, what does he plan on doing to me?
Come say hello.
Oh, hi. Come on, no
16.
hard feelings, right?
I think I knock you unconscious.
Oh, come on.
Alright, you are now prone, unconscious, and dying.
Ow.
And I need
So,
death saving throw from you.
I need to change this to a
Yeah, go
0
ahead and
then?
change it to a 0.
Alright.
And then I need death saving throw from you.
0. Death saving. There we go. A 9.
That is one fail.
That doesn't sound... That is one fail.
So
Nuts.
this has been effectively 1 minute of combat.
This whole thing has been 1 minute of
Yes,
combat?
because each round is 6 seconds, and then we just started round 10.
Oh my gosh.
Oh boy. What am I gonna do?
You're gonna help me out, right, bud?
So dangerous. Let's see. So it took less than an hour to get here. It took an hour to scout. So it's been, let's see, we'll call it about an hour and a half or 2 hours since we left the camp, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna disengage because I am badly hurt.
Yeah.
Move down here. That's 15 feet. And then, wait, that was 15 feet? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump straight up 4 feet, grab a branch, and I'm going to position myself up in the tree out of reach.
Okay.
Or no, slightly out of reach. Like I look like I'm just with, like I look like I'm in reach. Teasingly within reach. That guy's stuck. That guy's unconscious. This guy's furious.
I'm unconscious. Then prone. I'll just take a little nap right here.
Nice and easy. So, let's see. He moved that far. He's gonna... No, he used all his movement to get there. So yeah, he's basically right at the base of the tree. And this guy, he's gonna have to go around the bushes. That becomes 30, 35, because of difficult terrain. Ouch. Call that, say, 40 feet. He's gonna, that's 10 feet remaining. Yeah, he's gonna jump up at me, and I have cover because of the branches. Yeah, that misses. Adran,
Okay.
death saving throw.
Oh. Here goes nothing. 18.
That is a success. If you get a natural 20, it's 2 successes, and you stand up with 1 hit point.
Alright, so 1 success there so far.
I'm gonna take a shot
Cool.
at the creature I've hunter's marked, and he has cover because of the branches. Not that it matters. Yeah, I hit him.
Nice.
Hunter's mark. So he's, oh my gosh. He's gonna take 13 points of damage.
Good.
Oh,
Knocked me
you know what?
senseless.
I'm gonna, that's a lot of damage. I'm gonna have him do a con saving throw. That is a fail.
That is. So he is
Yes.
dead.
I'm going to bonus action move Hunter's Mark over here. Hang on, Adran. Alright. That guy's still stuck.
Rivet.
He's going to leap at me. Wait, no, leap, sorry. Hang on. That's my armor class. Okay, so first off, has to make an athletics check. Okay, yeah. Okay, I messed that up. Okay, so I'm gonna say that he does manage to get up and hit me, but I'm gonna do it at half damage.
Okay.
Because I messed that up. He was supposed to do the acrobatics check first. So con saving throw. That's good enough. And where's, oh yeah. Where are the time?
done.
Alright, so Antenua, I am going to truncate this a little bit because we are running late.
Yeah.
Comes out, and she's going to cast Cure Wounds on you. So you're no longer unconscious, and you're no longer dying.
Okay.
But you are still prone.
But I'm still prone.
Let me get her token out here. Because it has been enough time for her to... Because I only rolled for 2 hours. I had to think about that for a bit. So she's here.
Mm-hmm.
And she casts Cure Wounds on you. So you are now conscious but prone. And it's your turn.
Cool. I'm going to use a crossbow and see if I can take that guy out. I'm probably at a disadvantage,
you can stand up and then take the shot.
Would that put me at a
Yes.
normal? All right, I'll do that then.
Okay, take the shot. And then may I suggest moving 15 feet away?
All right, crossbow bolt, using one of those.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Sweet.
Nice shot.
Take that.
Now I suggest you moving 15 feet away.
15 feet away. I'll be limping. There. About 15 feet.
Alright, where is she gonna go? She rolled 11.
Take that, you little filthy animal.
Little filthy animal?
Well, I could have said something else, but we're trying to keep
Yes,
it nice
we
and
are.
clean.
Okay.
Take that, insert words
I climb
here.
higher in the tree because I am very badly hurt at this point. And I'm going to take the shot again. Come on.
Yes.
17 is enough to hit, and he's going to take 6 more damage.
Hey.
Bleeding him. Bleeding him. That guy's still stuck. Those are tied. That guy's unconscious. Oh, right. Her turn. Okay, so she is going to gulp, seeing the size of all these different creatures. She's going to burn Cure Wounds on you again. You gain another 3 hit points.
So I'm back up to a 7.
Yep. And she's just kind of like, good luck, and runs. 30 feet, there's a trip, there's a snapping sound, and the ringing of bells as a net falls on her, trapping her. So she's restrained.
Nicely done.
I need help.
Nicely done.
Alright, so what's this guy?
Good job.
He, seeing you just shot him, and I just shot him. Oh gosh, what is he gonna do? Okay, so he's actually gonna go after you, but this is difficult terrain. There we go. Yeah, he can't actually get to you. There's too much difficult terrain. So he's gonna dash. Yeah, there we go. Your turn.
All right.
Because all those bodies in the bushes, and it's all difficult terrain.
I would probably have a better advantage using my short sword against him than I would
Yeah,
my
if you attack
crossbow.
at this range with any ranged weapon, it's at disadvantage.
Okay. Well, here's the short sword.
Go for it. You got this. Yeah, that'll hit.
17.
You deal 6 more damage to him. Ow. Oh, so close.
At least I've given him another piercing blow.
Did you want to move anywhere or hold your position?
Oh, I want to move 15 feet away from him.
You can move 30 feet away from him. It's just going to trigger an attack of opportunity.
Um...
Do you want to take the risk?
I keep forgetting about that. Why don't I stay where I'm at?
Then it's my turn. I lean out, and I'm going to take the shot. My goodness, I burned so many arrows on this fight. Yeah, 22 will hit.
Yeah, me too. Nice.
And Hunter's Mark. Why does it keep rolling 2 dice? I do not understand. So that's 10 and 3, 13 damage. He dies. Oh!
Finally.
Alright, so we're going to cut Antenua free. I'm going to say that by the time we get done cutting her free, we return, and the other scout that we found, the one that I rendered unconscious, we're just in time to find that Enna has buried her spear point in his throat.
Good.
Whew, that was tough. Way to stick it out.
Oh my gosh, that was insane.
I'm really glad I remembered that I rolled 2 hours for Enna, or sorry, not Enna, Antenua.
Antenua.
And Antenua shares that once she came out of her tree form, all she really had to do was deal a little bit of damage to Enna, and she came out of the tree form, and so they came together.
Ah. Cool.
You doing all right there, bud?
Oh my gosh. That was insane.
I'm also going to say coup de grace, the final big creature we execute.
Yeah. That's a group effort.
With him being down in a pit, there's nothing he can really do. So
it's like shooting fish in a barrel, really.
So the game ends with us having barely survived another fight. Ow. I did tell you, deadly encounter.
Yes, you did.
The item you found in the tent, after you spent some time examining it, is a spyglass.
Really?
Yes.
So that's that peculiar
Yes.
thing, huh?
I had to really think about how I would describe it. So, with a spyglass, objects viewed through a spyglass are magnified to twice their spyglass. Okay.
Yeah.
Thought that was like a magnifying glass.
No. Spyglass, it's kind of like a periscope.
A telescope, yeah.
Or a telescope kind of thing.
Yeah, okay. Well, I was more thinking in game terms. Magnifying glass is something different. But yeah, you now have a spyglass. You are also now level 3.
Oh, level 3?
Yes. Which means you can finally pick your subclass.
That's right.
Yes, which we discussed before. You are going to be an Eldritch Knight. Which means spell casting.
Nice.
Yeah, Eldritch Knight. So you can also roll for hit points, and if you roll less than the average, then we'll just take the average.
Okay. So, let's see. Where do I go for that again?
Alright, so on your character sheet, you have your hit dice is a d10. So 1d10 plus your constitution modifier, which is 1. So
Okay.
roll 1d10 plus 1.
Roll a d10
Correct.
plus 1. Plus 1.
So that's 4.
So
The
4.
average is 6 plus 1, so 7. So you'll take the average instead of the roll.
I'll take the
so
average.
the average, 7 plus 22 means 29. and I'm going to assume that we take a long rest.
Yes.
Oh man, that was a rough fight. You did good though. You did good. So,
Thanks.
at 3rd level, you become the Eldritch Knight, which means you have 2 more cantrips of your choice from the wizard's spell list. You also gain 1 evocation spell, 1 abjuration spell, and a spell of your choice from any school of magic that is a wizard. Where am I going? Wizard spells. Ouch. I know it's late. Sorry, man.
Yeah.
So cantrips are spells that you can use at will. They don't reuse any sort of spell slot. So like message is a cantrip.
Okay.
I would suggest at least 1 damage type cantrip.
Oh,
something like let's see here. And we're going to do sources, player's handbook. Okay. Oops. So let's see. Firebolt's a typical one. It's a bolt of fire with 120 foot range. Shocking Grasp is a melee spell attack. If you hit your target, they don't get to take reactions, as well as they take damage. But if you miss, then, well, they don't take any damage.
Okay.
Ray of Frost will slow if it hits, it'll do damage and slow the target down until the start of your next turn. But it only has a range of 60 feet.
I don't know. I'm kind of liking that fire.
Okay.
That fire strike.
Firebolt.
Yeah.
Okay. You can have 1 more cantrip.
Let's see. What was the list again?
So Acid Splash, Blade Ward, Chill Touch, Dancing Lights, Firebolt, which you have, Friends, Light, Mage Hand.
Whoa. What is Dancing Light?
Dancing Lights. You create up to 4 torch-sized lights within range, which is anywhere within 120 feet, making them appear as torches, lanterns, or glowing orbs that hover in the air for the duration. You can also combine the 4 lights into 1 glowing, vaguely humanoid form of medium size. Whichever form you choose, each light sheds dim light in a 10-foot radius. As a bonus action on your turn, you can move the lights up to 60 feet to a new spot within range. A light must be within 20 feet of another creature created by the spell, and a light winks out if it exceeds the spell's range. So one tactical way you can use this, you can cast it, and since it has a range of 120 feet, you can place it around enemies who are in darkness, and all of a sudden they're illuminated so we can see them and attack with advantage, but they can't see us.
Oh.
So that's an option.
And then what about the other one that you mentioned just before I interrupted, which was Friends?
Friends, Light, Mage Hand. Friends is a enchantment cantrip. For the duration, you have advantage on all charisma checks directed at 1 creature of your choice that is not hostile towards you. And when the spell ends, the creature realizes that you used magic to influence its mood, and then it becomes hostile towards you.
I'm actually going to choose the Dancing Lights.
Fair enough.
I actually liked it when you said that we can actually use that for a certain distance to gaze upon an enemy without the enemy knowing that we're gazing on them.
I mean, they'll see the light, obviously, but they won't see what the source is. They won't see that you were the one who cast it, and next thing you know, they're being shot.
Yeah.
Alright, so that was cantrips. Now you get to
Awesome.
choose an abjuration, an evocation, and then one from any school of magic. So evocation is your blow up type spells, damage.
Okay. I don't really see my list that I'm kind of looking at.
Working on it. Burning Hands, Chromatic Orb, Magic Missile, Thunderwave, or Witch Bolt.
Wow, go over the list again.
Sure.
What was?
From the top, Burning Hands. It's kind of a short-range cone of fire. Chromatic Orb has a 90-foot range. And you can choose acid, cold, fire, lightning, poison, or thunder for the type of orb you create. It's a one use. Most of these are. Magic Missile is a guaranteed hit. You create 3 darts. There's some controversy as to how the damage is supposed to work. Some people do it like a d4 plus 1 for each dart. Some people say that the rules interpret it as 3d4 plus 1.
I kind of like the whole fire hands.
Burning hands.
Burning
As you
hands.
hold your hands with thumbs touching and fingers spread, a thin sheet of flames shoots forth from your outstretched fingertips. Each creature in a 15-foot cone must make a dexterity saving throw. Creature takes 3d6 fire damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful. You want that one?
I like
Alrighty.
that one.
And now abjuration.
Is that going to be like a
Defense.
like some sort of a healing or
Yeah,
defense?
wizards don't get healing
Okay.
spells. So alarm, which basically designates an area, and the spell lasts for 8 hours, and if anything intrudes on that area, it sets off an alarm in your head, or an audible alarm. Mage armor, you touch a willing creature who is not wearing armor, and they get a boost to their armor class. Protection from evil and good, defends you from aberrations, celestials, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead.
I kind of like that one.
And then there's shield. 1 reaction to cast. It lasts for 1 round. You cast it when you're going to take damage, or when magic missile targets you. Until the start of your next turn, you have a +5 bonus to armor class.
I like the last one that you were talking
Shield?
about, though. No, the one just before shield.
Protection from evil and good.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. And then you get to choose one from any school. I generally suggest Transmutation.
And which one is that
This
one?
will give you access to spells that alter how you work with the world. For example, Longstrider, like what I have, Jump, Featherfall, or Expeditious Retreat. Expeditious Retreat is a spell you can cast as a bonus action. You have to concentrate on it, and as long as you're concentrating on it, it lasts for 10 minutes. It allows you to move at an incredible pace. When you cast this spell, and then as a bonus action on each of your turns until the spell ends, you can take the dash action. So on your turn, you could attack, bonus action cast this spell, and move 60 feet.
But you said I should try getting something like Transmutation.
Yeah, this is a transmutation spell.
Oh, okay.
So is that something you want, or do you want to keep looking?
Let's keep looking, see what else we
so
got.
those were all the transmutation spells at first level. Conjuration. Filtering. Find Familiar, Floating Disc, Fog Cloud, Grease, Tensor's Floating Disc, or Unseen Servant.
Fog cloud actually sounds pretty good.
You create a 20-foot radius sphere of fog centered on a point within range. The sphere spreads around corners and its area is heavily obscured. It lasts for the duration or until a wind of moderate or greater speed disperses it. It has a range of 120 feet, and then the point that you choose, from that point, a 20-foot radius sphere.
Yeah, let's go with that
Cloud?
one. Yeah.
Okey-dokey.
That's basically supposed to be keeping my enemies distracted while, you know, I either one, get away, or two, kill them.
Right. Okay, so your hit points are now up. Second wind is recharged. Action surge is recharged. You spent 7 arrows, so you can recover 3. You're now level 3. Right, I have to. What's this? Fighter, is that it? I believe so. Yes. Okay. So yeah, you are now a level 3 fighter. And
Great.
I'm going to level up as well. And I'm gonna go hunter. I know you're tired. Try and finish up.
Yeah, you're probably
I'm
tired
very
too.
tired.
Oh, that was a
brutal fight.
and that was only our second day. This is insane, but it's still so much
I know,
fun.
right? So 7 hit points or 8 hit points? Gee, I wonder which one I'll take.
You'll go with the 8. What does that bring you up to?
26 hit points total. I spent 9 arrows, so I can recover 4. Jeez. I am really glad I used that sling as I hoped it would work. Can you imagine if that other bad guy had been up?
Oh my gosh, we probably wouldn't have made it.
And I now have 3 spell slots of first level. And let's see. What am I gonna take? I'm gonna take a spell you normally don't take. Normally I would take Fog Cloud, but since you took it, I'm actually gonna take the jump spell.
That actually sounds like your kind of spell anyway.
Well, I usually take Fog Cloud because it's, depending on how you use it, it's pretty handy. And for my subclass feature, I'm going to take Colossus Slayer.
Colossus Slayer.
Once per turn, against an enemy that I hit. Sorry, if I hit an enemy once per turn, if they're wounded, they take an extra d8 of damage. Alright, and there we go. We are now level 3, each of us. Whew. And there's still this enemy camp to deal with.
And
This
there's
enemy
still what?
camp. We have the wolves, the traps, the bridge, and an unknown number of days before an unknown number of reinforcements comes our way. Bet that's reassuring.
Yeah.